Hi, I'm Kirsten from glutenfreegal.com, and today we're going to talk about what celiac disease is. Celiac disease is an autoimmune disease that affects your immune system. What happens is, instead of your immune system attacking the invader gluten, it starts attacking your body. Specifically, it starts attacking the lining inside your intestine, the villi, that line your intestine, and what the villi do is they absorb the vitamins from your food, which then creates malabsorption because you're not getting vitamins. I was a bad case scenario. I mean, I was sick for 7 years, and the last 2 years were brutal. I mean, I had 17 symptoms all at the same time. I had vertigo for 7 years. I couldn't even flip my head over and flip it back. And nobody can diagnose me, and I was clinically depressed. I was bipolar. I was angry all the time. I mean, I'd wake up angry. I'd go to bed angry. I mean, I was a huge bitch. Like, I can't even believe that anyone would want to be around me, you know? And I knew it, but I was completely powerless to change it. And I was so desperate because nobody could tell me what was wrong with me. And all I thought about literally for 2 years was just how I could die. How I was going to, because I'm a strong woman, so I would never kill myself, but I thought about it every single day, all the time. Sorry. It was brutal. And then when I finally got diagnosed, it changed my life. It saved my life. Like, I went from not getting off the couch, because I couldn't work. Like, I'd get fired from jobs because I would, you know, if I'd have an attack, sometimes it would look like I was drunk, because I'd get vertigo, and I would just like spin out, and I'd start slurring my words, and start throwing up, and literally it would look like I was drunk. And so I would get fired from jobs. I couldn't get off the couch because it felt like I had a 1,000-pound weight on me. Just so exhausted, and my body hurt, and migraines, and tingling in my fingers and toes, and restless leg syndrome, and sinus problems, rashes, and then within a week of going gluten-free, I had done a complete 180. I was a completely different person. I went from being a complete crazy person who couldn't get off the couch and was exhausted, and to not feeling dizzy for the first time in 7 years, to not having vertigo, to being able to sleep a night, to having a flat stomach because I wasn't bloated anymore. The tingling in my fingers and toes went away. I've had one migraine since diagnosis, which was November of 2010. And I had migraines, you know, 1 to 2 times a week where I couldn't open or close my eyes or put my head on a pillow because it was so bad. It changed my life, and that's when I realized that how it really affects your body, and the damage that can be done. And right now, there's only 15% of people diagnosed with celiac disease, and 80% of them are asymptomatic, which means that they have no symptoms at all, or symptoms that they don't equate with celiac disease, like arthritis or other autoimmune diseases like psoriasis or diabetes. Because undiagnosed celiac disease, the average is about 7 to 10 years it takes somebody to be diagnosed. And by that point, there's usually so much damage done that it has caused and created so many other issues. Cancer, other autoimmune diseases, thyroid issues, heart disease, so many things that are caused by it. And doctors haven't diagnosed it, and they're still not diagnosing it. It's not one of the first things that they're diagnosing. And so they never get to the root of the problem, so that they're treating these other problems one by one. But people keep getting sick because you're not treating the actual problem. And then on the flip side, you have people who are just going gluten-free and never getting tested, so they don't even know if that's the issue. And just because you go gluten-free doesn't mean that you're going to be okay. I'm going to eat gluten-free food and everything's going to be okay. That doesn't work like that, unfortunately, because there's so many, because of the damage that's being done. Usually you have other allergies or other sensitivities that come out of it, lactose intolerance, or allergic to soy or corn or many other foods because of the damage that's being done in your intestines. And also the depression, it was huge, and people don't equate their food with depression, and doctors don't equate that. They're so apt to just give somebody medication and fix the problem, try to fix the problem that way instead of through diet and nutrition. And that's a huge issue because 90% of your serotonin is created in your gut. And scientists within the last few years have just figured out and realized that they always thought that your brain sent messages to every part of your body. They didn't realize that your gut actually sends messages to your brain, and then your brain reacts and responds. And that's where the serotonin becomes a huge issue, because if 90% of the serotonin, which controls mood, sleep, appetite, it controls your personality in general. So if that's not regulated, of course you're going to have a myriad of issues like depression. And so I think things like that need to be addressed as well. Because I know it, I mean, I literally was just depressed all the time, not leaving the house. And sometimes I would get dressed, go down to my car, get ready to go out, get to my car, and just not be able to go out. And I'd go back upstairs and cancel my plans, and that was it. I didn't know that I had celiac disease. I was sick for 7 years with 17 to 25 symptoms, and doctors couldn't tell me what was causing it. And finally I had gone on a diet that happened to be gluten-free, found out after 7 days, and after I felt absolutely amazing, and a dietitian had told me about gluten-free and celiac disease, and I had gone and got tested, and I felt like a completely new person. The problem with that is that 80% of people who do have celiac disease are asymptomatic, which means they don't have any symptoms at all. And so even though you may not feel that you're sick, you don't see the damage that's being done inside. So it is so important that you get tested. You get tested for celiac disease. You get tested for gluten intolerance, especially if you have a family member who has celiac disease or who has been diagnosed with gluten intolerance. The chances that you may have it have increased substantially. So it's so important to get tested, if for no other reason than to rule it out. You can have a blood test done or a biopsy, but it's important to get tested today for celiac disease. A company like Walk-In Labs is actually something that I promote because people don't want to go to their doctors. And in the celiac disease community, I hear so many horror stories from people who've had bad experiences from their doctor, who they want to get tested from something and the doctor literally says no to them, or you don't need that, or that has nothing to do with this. And so a company like Walk-In Labs, where you can go online, order your lab, and get your test results within 24 to 48 hours is amazing. And you can either go online to get your results, and it also comes in the mail. So you don't have to go to somebody and have them tell you no, or be in a position where you're uncomfortable because you have to explain to your doctor why you need this, and they're making you feel bad about it. This is easy. It's confidential, and you can go on and order your test and have it done and have the results and figure out what's wrong right away and then change it. Figure out how to change it and make your life better.